Hey, man, he was in my face.
Up in your face.
It don't matter if you win by an inch or a mile. Winning's winning.
I don't have friends. I got family.
Vroom, vroom, and welcome to another Fast Friends presented by the NBA. That's Game. We're back breaking down every action film from the Fast and Furious franchise. On deck today, the fourth movie in the franchise, Fast and Furious. I'm still J.E. Skeets here with our FF expert, Trey Kirby.
Hey-yo!
Hey-yo! And of course, we've got our super producer, JD.
Hello.
There he is. Here we are. If you're a friend of Fast Friends, thank you so much. Keep tweeting in your thoughts at NoDunksInc. That's INC. And email in your questions, nodunks@theathletic.com. If they're Fast Friends specific, put Fast Friends in the subject title. It'll help out Tass, who has to go through all the NBA questions. And then he can just sort of gloss over those or just forward them to us. Put Fast Friends there in the little header, in the little subject. If you haven't already, leave us a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts. Why not? Or I guess I should say, subscribe to No Dunks on YouTube. That really helps us out in terms of rankings. Okay, so Fast and Furious, the fourth movie in the franchise. But before we get to that, we had another short film to watch.
Oh, God.
20-minute short film. TK said it on the last one. Vin Diesel did this one. Hey, I'm directing it. I'm co-writing it, producing it. I'm in it. And
you're gonna love this idea. I'm the hero, and every woman in the Dominican Republic absolutely loves me. This is a crazy 20-minute short. I mean, plot-wise, what happens? We kind of find out that Dom is the Robin Hood of the Dominican Republic. The Dominican Republic people can't live without oil. That's all they're talking about.
Yep.
So Dom is gonna steal them oil.
Yeah.
How do you distribute it? That's for him to figure out. They never made a short about that. Just the fact that we're going to be stealing that oil. We also learn about Tego and Santos, who will continue on in the series into this fourth movie that we're going to watch. We learned that Dom and Han know each other.
Yes.
Don't know how. Don't know from where.
Nope.
But Han shows up in the Dominican Republic, and you can tell they're old friends. And other than that, we just learned that Dom loves chicks. It's literally 20 minutes of women hanging all over Vin Diesel, like every single scene, basically until Letty shows up right at the end.
Who takes over hanging off of...
Oh,
yes,
yeah, we
exactly.
got like 10 minutes of them just hanging out together. Like, we get it. You're in love. She's got her feet up all over you while you're driving, and now you're on the beach, and you're just frolicking in the water. We get it, yeah. It just felt like Vin Diesel was like, hey, you know, it'd be cool to go hang out in the Dominican Republic for a little bit.
100%.
Just send me. I'll make a little short film. It'd be awesome.
Yeah, when the credits pop up and it says written and directed by Vin Diesel, you're like, yeah. I think it was. I think so.
I'm not even sure I said the name for everybody. TK said it on the last one. Los Bandoleros. That's The Outlaws is this short film if you want to seek it out. We watched it on Vimeo. Yeah. By the person that I think edited it.
Oh, wow, really?
The woman, yeah.
Yeah, she definitely worked on it, although I didn't care enough to dig any deeper to see, what her role was on it, but she was very grateful on the Vimeo comments there, saying, hey, thanks for all the likes. If you want to hire me, here's my info. But, I had no idea what she did on it. But
So, JD, I mean, Trey sort of already took us through it. The reasons, I guess, behind this. Hey, he knows Han. He's in the Dominican. Okay, Letty's here now. They're in love. I don't think it needed to be 20 minutes, I'll tell you that. I'm not even sure it needed to exist at all. He could have really just got that across in the movie itself, but what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, the one thing that I got out of it was why they're stealing gas, right? Like, that was not really explained once we get into Fast and Furious.
True.
So, and I actually went back and watched it after I watched Fast and Furious, so I'm like, what is this Mad Max all of a sudden? Like we're just heisting gas.
Yeah.
So it gave a little bit of context, I guess, but I don't remember in Fast and Furious seeing them distribute gas to the masses or anything. In fact, I think they were just filling up their race cars with it, right? Like,
I think so too.
fine, okay, but they're criminals and that's fine. And maybe the context of it didn't gas explode in prices in 2009? Like, was that a thing from the American point of view? Yeah. Hey, I get it. Like, gas, look at Lebanon right now. They are going through a horrific time, and gas is definitely a part of that equation, and it can really bring a nation to their knees. So, absolutely, yeah, like, let's get the gas. But I mean, other than the fact that, okay, we're stealing the gas to give to the people who need the gas, which they... In my mind, they didn't do, but okay, there's a reason at least. And then it was, as you say, Skeets, a little vacation video. Vin Diesel and Michelle Rodriguez were seeing each other at some point, right, during the production of. At some point, they were an item, so maybe they just, Skeets, I think you nailed it. Like, let's go to Dominican Republic, and we'll bring a crew, and
totally,
and I'll bring my kayak built for two, and okay,
I will say this again. Probably could have been done in the movie itself, but this little short, it did make me realize how in love they were. Because you never really, to me, back to the first one, where he was in, Dom and Letty, we knew they were an item, they're together, but there wasn't a lot of, like, chemistry between the two, or, like, this, like, undying love for each other. So, it took 10 minutes of them, again, on a kayak and driving around and stuff like that to really drive it home, but, okay. I felt it, and that of course leads into what happens in the fourth movie here, and and her demise. So
if you think weird. The short's weird, imagine if they actually started with this at the beginning of Fast and Furious to set up that first heist. Yeah. Basically impossible that they try that, but you're right, Skeets. I would agree that there is legit chemistry between Vin Diesel and Michelle Rodriguez, and apparently it's just heightened anytime they're near any form of transportation, whether it be a kayak or a car, it does not matter. That makes them fall even more in love with each other.
Yeah. Okay. So look, do you need to go and watch this? No, I don't think so. It's pretty funny. It somehow does fly by, despite being 20 minutes and really nothing happening in it. I think because you are seeing these new characters, like Rico, and then, then Han is there, and you get, like, the understanding of, like, oh, okay, this is going to be happening before Tokyo Drift. But you're right, Trey. We get no backstory on how these guys are buds at all.
He just rolls up. He's like, hey, I'm here.
Yeah. It's like, all right.
Cool. What are we doing?
Here's a beer. Yeah.
Well, also, you're sort of glossing over the fact that they break out those guys out of prison, which is not on screen for some reason, right? Like, don't they go and get and break them, one of the guys at least, out of prison?
Yeah.
That's not on screen, but we do get 5 minutes of canoodling on a kayak. It's just like, where did you spend this budget? Like,
good point.
And I would also say that it was boring as hell. Like it was 20 minutes. Skeets, you said it flew by. It was like...
I thought it did.
I thought it was so... I was just like, what is going...
You know why I liked it, JD? I was liking the music. I mean, I love the Dominican Republic. It had a nice vibe to it.
I agree with you. I did enjoy the music, but I thought the sound mix was terrible. I hope that woman who posted that video wasn't the sound mixer, because she did not do a great job. But... I felt like I was watching Ryerson University fourth-year practicum, honestly. Like... with pretty high production value in that context, but for I mean, do we know how much they spent on this thing? Nah,
I got no clue on that one. Again, I think that was just that was Vin demanding he wanted a vacation with Letty and or Michelle, and say, come on, just send us down here. I got an idea, and Han will show up. It'll be great. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's enough.
What'd you guys think about Dom wearing sleeves? I know that was my big tease.
Yeah.
Full sleeves. Wow.
Yeah. I loved it.
Yeah,
totally.
They could pull
Can't
it
see
off.
those forearms at all.
No. Okay, so let's get to the actual movie here on Fast Friends today. Fast and Furious. It is the fourth one, like I said, released in the spring of 2009. They bumped it up, apparently. Get it out there for the springtime. Budget, again, $85 million. Box office, a lot better than Tokyo Drift. My God, I think it surpassed it in the opening weekend alone or something like that. But 360 million worldwide, Fast and Furious did. The skinny, well, Brian O'Connor, he's back working for the FBI in LA. He teams up with Dom to bring down a heroin importer by infiltrating his operation. So Vin Diesel, Paul Walker, Michelle Rodriguez, some new actors that we'll get to, I'm sure, as we go through this movie. Directed once again by Justin Lin. He did Tokyo Drift. He's here for this one. I believe he's there for the next one, too, if I have that correct. So, Trey, what do you remember from this one? You told us last time Tokyo Drift was the first one you didn't go to a theater to see. I just went over the numbers. People were seeing this one. Was TK and the boys back in the theater for Vin and Paul reuniting?
100%. I was there,
we
opening weekend, Skeets, helping it take down Tokyo Drift. This movie was legitimately a game changer amongst our friend group. I saw it with my buddy Adam at the AMC Yorktown Theater in Lombard, Illinois. If I'm not mistaken, Pat Murphy canceled that night. Come on, buddy. What are you doing, Murph?
Pat.
Come on. You're being Murph-diculous here. But, we were very excited that Vin and Paul were both coming back. Rewatched things prior to the release, and I'm going to show you here, it started taking over. I mean, this is me doing the Ask Any Racer, Any Real Racer scene at a buddy's house at a party we were having. Our men's league basketball team became known as Fast and Furious. There we are, winning the championship. I've got custom jerseys, custom shoes, and this custom jacket that I'm wearing to this very day. A one-of-one Fast and Furious Nike zip-up.
That's badass.
Skeets, you hear people talking like, the hits are coming fast and furious now. We're opening presents fast and furious now. Was that ever a term that was used before these movies came out? I don't know. Maybe so. You'd have to go back and check the Google Trends, but I was pumped when this movie came out, and I still remember vividly seeing it the very first time.
Okay, quick question. I noticed on the slick Nike jacket you have there, Fast and Furious, and spelled out A-N-D, doesn't go with the ampersand. Was that not an option?
Honestly, Skeets, I think I botched it.
Oh, no.
Now that you're mentioning it, I think I botched it. Should have went ampersand here, as you see. Once we upgraded to the jerseys, we went ampersand.
Yeah.
Wow.
Sorry to bring that up.
I need a seam ripper. Gonna need a seam ripper here to repair things.
Just put a piece of tape over it with a little ampersand sign there. Okay, that's amazing. So you were there. You were all in. Like, I assume there was, back in 2009, like we're saying when this came out, that there was hype that the two of them were back, and it was going back to sort of the original vibe. We talked about how Tokyo Drift didn't do that well, despite us liking it. So there must have been, well, there obviously was, with the numbers it was doing, JD, the buzz for this movie. The boys are back. Here we go.
Listen, people love stars, and they love what they know. And they know Vin Diesel, they know Paul Walker, they know Michelle Rodriguez. They know what they're getting themselves into. And it's unfortunate to me. But, that's it is what it is.
All right. So not as high on this one as you were Tokyo Drift.
No, I'm not, actually. No.
Okay. Well, let's get into it then. 5 years after escaping from the U.S., Dominic Toretto, Vin, baby, and his new crew, consisting of his girlfriend, Letty. What are their names? Tego? How do I say it? Tejo?
I think it's Tego Leo. Tego Leo is
Enrico
Tego Calderon and Rico Santos.
Yes, and those are like real artists, right?
Yeah. That's
right. We got Kara and we got Han. He is there. They are hijacking these fuel tankers in the Dominican Republic using heavily modified Chevy trucks and an 87 Buick Grand National. So just like movies before, we are opening with a heist. I mean, this is what happened in the first one, right? It was the truckers, and they had a bunch of cool Panasonic equipment on it. But this one's got gas, as we learned in the short film. They need it. They want it. And we're into this movie, and it's a pretty intense action scene. Though I will say there is a shot of a truck flipping over at one point that looks like garbage. It looks like a little model. You guys
Just
know the part
rolling down the mountain?
Yeah, it looked. It was like, oh. Up until that, it was okay. But anyway, what'd you think of the opening scene here, Trey?
I love it wholeheartedly. Skeets, Dom is back. Fast and Furious is back. They even brought back truckers. Can you believe it? But they gave this guy a face. He's not a faceless trucker. He's a trucker with an iguana.
Yeah.
Feeding his iguana as they're driving on down. But I love it. You know, you're getting some hilarious lines. Letty talking about gas is gold. She ices the lock. She breaks it and releases it. Liquid gold. I also love Vin in this scene. Hanging out the window. Psh, busts it and he's riding all down the road with his bicep hanging out. The one thing that is very strange to me, you know, they're going through this entire heist here. The trucker, like, floors it. And he's like, I gotta get out of here. This is going too crazy. Then he comes to, like, a turn where they're going downhill, and then it takes, like, a sharp right.
Yeah.
And he's shocked. Like, he had no idea.
Yeah.
You've been going on one road, buddy. I'm imagining this is a planned out route, but he goes over the hill. He's like, no!
I know.
What was I thinking? Yeah, man, you botched it. So I love that. I think the trucker is very weird. And Dom in this scene, some incredible maneuvers with one hand. He never puts a second hand on the steering wheel this entire time, and he's like whipping it into reverse.
Yeah.
He's catching Letty flying onto his windshield. He's got the classic part where the pop can is rolling down, you know.
Yep.
Just waiting until it's the perfect time.
Yeah.
Cruises on through,
Times
never touches that wheel with a second hand. When you're that good, you just need one.
Yeah, I will say one part that was strange. The guy with the pet iguana, the driver, he was like, all right, we're going to all die here. I'm jumping out of this vehicle. Why didn't Letty jump? Like,
Right?
And she, if anything, she's like more clear. Like she's at the back of the truck at this point. So like, just jump. You don't got to get in the vehicle. Just jump off the side. He was fine. He did a nice little tuck and roll and he was good. But
yeah, especially once the back two tankers have come off and she's kind of just on the back of it, like, just a clear spot there. Just hop on off. I mean, I was a little worried for her, you know, she's getting dragged along. You can see her feet running along the ground, but that's when there's like a tanker in front of her and behind her.
Yeah.
Then you can't jump off.
Yeah.
Right.
You'll get ran over. But once there's nothing behind you, it's like Dom said to, I believe it was Tego, release, you idiot.
yeah.
He calls him a straight up idiot. I feel like Letty was being a little bit of an idiot there too, like you're saying. Just jump.
Yeah, just jump. JD, what do you think of this opening scene? Were you hooked like you were the first time around in FF1?
Nah, I have to say that I wasn't, and this is on me because I, coming off of Tokyo Drift, I was like, okay, all right, here we go, we're rolling now, and I enjoyed that movie, but I made the mistake of thinking. I made the mistake of my brain was still turned on when I turned on the movie, and just things take me out of it. Like, how many tankers were on that truck? Like 4 at least.
At least four.
At least, yeah.
At least 4.
Maybe 5?
5? Is that possible?
Yeah.
Is that a thing? Like 4 tankers on... I've seen 2 for sure. And in the prairies where it's flat... I've seen 3.
Yeah, sure.
Right? But in the mountainous regions...
You think there's too many?
I think there's too many tankers on there. So I'm like, okay, well, that would never happen. Number 2, how fast can you drive in reverse?
Oh, my God. I know.
That's the greatest mystery. Can you go as fast as you can backwards as you can forwards?
I want to say no.
I want to say no, too.
Granted, I suppose these are... As you said, Skeets, modified, but oh my God. And, you know, to line up like that, it's a very convoluted scheme. That said, I did love the stunt of Letty jumping on the tanker. I loved the idea of the liquid nitrogen freezing it and smashing it. It's a great visual. It's really fun. It's, you know, and locking into the to the tanker from reverse. It's like kind of ingenious, and you know, I could see them in the writer's room like drawing it out or whatever.
Yeah.
Like that part, like it is fun, but it's just like things like that just take me out of it. It's like put a little bit of realism in it, and then with Dom sitting there just cool as a cucumber with a fiery tanker just coming at him like, wait for it. Like, what are you waiting for, really? Like, you're talking
the
about
rolls, JD. He's
timing the rolls, please.
Yeah.
It's blind luck. It's like, well, I might as well go, right? Also, they had time to vacate the vehicle and run out of the way, right?
Good point.
They could have left.
Go around the corner.
And as you said, like, I don't think that it looked good enough to be like, fuck it, it's a movie, right? Like, it looked really kind of cheap and fake when they slide under it. Yeah. So it's just not, I don't know. It was just like, okay, here's where we're going. I know that this is where we're going in the franchise, and that's fine. But that scene, it didn't make me go, whoa, like it did for Tokyo Drift. Like the first scene in Tokyo Drift, I was just like, holy shit, these people are going to die. Not for 1 second did I think anyone was going to get a scratch on them, including the iguana.
Yeah. Did he jump with the iguana?
He grabbed the iguana, I think, before he leaves.
Yeah, good for him.
And that's the other thing. Like, if Die Hard, the movie, taught us anything, is just like you want your hero to show a little bit of fear, right? Like, because that puts you into it. It's like, okay, there's a cost to this. Like, Michelle Rodriguez was freaking out, as she should have been, but Dom is just like, he's a robot. He's never scared. Never scared.
No. And you think to the detriment of the movie or to his character.
Yeah.
You think it would do it so good if he was a little terrified at times. Or a little worried.
Yes, it shows some humanity.
Yeah, okay.
Well, you're not going to like this, JD. A quick Google of the phrase, how fast can you drive in reverse? According to Quora, totally accurate, approximately 20 to 30 miles per hour. There's another result from Motor1.com that says, according to the math, the Evo 7 is only capable of a top speed of 35.5 miles per hour.
Okay.
And they're not only having to... It's not like they're starting in reverse either, right? Like, they have to throw it into reverse and then get back going and catch up to that truck and then pull it away, apparently uphill, right? Like, they would be going uphill because they're kind of traveling down these mountains. So... Those got to be a lot of horsepower on these.
Oh my God,
these ceiling vehicles. I'm saying, if you're able to go that fast backwards and then haul 2 tankers of gas back up a mountain, I don't know.
Well, it's funny you said that because I was thinking of them in the writer's room. This idea, like you're saying, okay, we're gonna put our trucks in reverse. We'll latch on. We'll take these tanks of gas, but then. Somebody must have been like, well, there's no way they can take all 4 of these on one truck.
Right.
So it's like, now we need 2 trucks, and we need, like, they basically just pulled the stunt off twice, really, when you think about it. Like, with 2, like, Han doing the one and the other guy's doing the other. So at least they were, like, trying to make it a little more realistic. I thought, like, then again, like, why did it have to be 4 tanks of gas as it was? I feel like 1 would have been, like, gold, and they could have just done that. But they needed the drama, of course, of... Letty getting seen, and then the guy... I love when anytime a trucker or anybody sees somebody on their thing, it's like, let's just put myself at risk. Yeah, exactly. Just to get this one little person off back there. Okay.
And we're back to truck drivers not doing anything but press the brake. You can't... That is simply not an option.
No.
So
no. Never. You must keep going, go faster, and see what happens. All right. Well, they pulled it off, of course. Then Dom suspects that the police are on his trail. I guess Han sort of says this too, right? He's like, I mean, was this really smart what we just did here? Like, you are a fugitive.
You just blew up half of the Dominican Republic.
Yeah. Like, you brought a lot of eyeballs onto the area, man. Like, the cops are probably going to be circling here soon.
You were trying to bring 4 tankers of gas to the people of the Dominican Republic, and instead you completely destroyed 2 of them, and we know there's a shortage.
Yeah. We forgot about the guy in the short, Elvis, right? He's like the one that sort of sets this all up, does he not?
Yeah.
Is he a crooked, like, politician?
He's a politician.
Yeah, okay. I forgot about him. Anyway, he gives them, like, Basically, he's given them the window of when you could pull this off.
All about the window.
That's in the short, so maybe you do need to watch it. Anyway, Han's like, what are we doing here? This was dumb. You're a fugitive again, man, Dom. And he's like, yeah, we gotta disband. We gotta go our separate ways. And this is where we learn that Han, he's going to Tokyo.
Heard they're doing some crazy shit over there in Tokyo.
That's exactly right. So let me go check it out. I mean, I was screaming at my television, don't go, man. Don't go, Han.
Keep your head on a swivel, buddy.
Stay in the DR. I know it's not 5-star resorts you're staying in. He was all pissed off about that in the short. Like, no air conditioning? This place sucks. But you should stay there, Han. Anyway, yeah, he's going to leave. So that's where he goes his separate way. And then, realizing that he must leave, Dom runs, leaving Letty behind because there's going to be too much heat on him. So in the middle of the night, he's just he's just sitting. I think, is he sitting on the stairs there? He's just staring at her.
Yeah, this is my first big laugh out loud moment at Vin Diesel acting is when he's watching Letty sleep.
Yeah.
Like, nobody has looked more intense watching somebody sleep in their life. The guy looks like he's bench pressing 500 pounds while just watching Letty sleep there. And then he leaves her with a stack of cash and his necklace.
Yes, that's right. That's
Classic
right.
Dom.
Also, I can't think of many people that would be worse in this world than Dom, Vin Diesel, of sneaking out of a room at night. He's a clomper.
This guy's always wearing boots.
He's clomping. He's like hitting his elbow on a door frame, and like he's just not quiet. Like, I'm quiet. I'm a ninja. He is not. Han, sure. Letty, yeah, not Dom.
No.
Paul even. He's got some parkour moves, so I could see him sort of being light on his feet.
He's
Dom,
always wearing
no
those
way.
sneakers, so
Yeah.
he can,
That's a good point.
sneak out.
Yeah, anyways, he leaves. He's out of here. And we've said goodbye to Han, and now Dom is gone in the middle of the night. Here,
So what do you think about the continuity tie-in there? Completely restitching the timeline with a single line.
Yeah.
It took one line for them to be like, well, we completely redid the timeline of the entire franchise just by him saying, you could probably go do your own thing. Crazy shit over in Tokyo. And that's it. That's like the whole reason that scene exists, right? Is so that they can bring Han back even more so in the future without him, having perished in the past or whatever. That's the whole reason that scene is in there, I feel like. Just so they can bring Han back. Kind of worth it. People love Han, but for some reason, he didn't get to eat it all in this movie, which was a little bit of a disappointment.
I think he eats once.
Just once.
Yeah, and I don't know if it was in the short or in the movie. He eats something, and I was like, oh, yeah.
Good.
Well, he's also, he's eating at the table when they have like a little family dinner. He starts
Right.
I don't know what he's got in his mouth.
Yeah,
there,
but that doesn't count. He's his snacker. We want to see him snacking, walking around.
Well, I think he got the inspiration for being a huge snacker. Now, we thought it might be Brad Pitt from Ocean's 11. I think it's the iguana. Because that guy is like giving him some things.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, damn. He's smaller
I'm gonna go
meals.
for a snack right now.
Yeah, watch my weight. It is weird, man. Like, when people went into this movie for the first time, was everybody mad confused? Or was it like a known thing? Hey, this movie, Fast and Furious, like the fourth, is happening in the timeline before Tokyo Drift. Like, was that a known thing heading into the movie?
I don't remember it being that way. I remember being confused when Han showed up in the very first scene. I was like, from Tokyo Drift? Okay. I mean, they said they knew each other at the end of the movie. They did say that, but it was still very weird seeing him come back. And, what was this, 2009 this came out?
Yep.
So, I don't know, maybe it wasn't quite as easy to find the breakdown of the canonical timeline for Fast and Furious, but I remember being confused, like, huh?
Yeah.
Han is back and he's going back to Tokyo? Didn't he already die in Tokyo? How's this possible?
It's very strange.
I think audiences are smart enough to know a flashback when they see it, or, I would have just assumed that it was a flashback, But,
okay. All right, well, that's where he's going. We cut to parkour with our guy, Brian O'Connor, Paul Walker. He's been reinstated with the FBI. Like, this they gloss over big time.
He's a straight up agent now. Like, I don't think he wears a suit at all in the first Fast and Furious or in Too Fast, Too Furious, where he is still, again, working with government agencies. But he's suited up in this one.
Yeah.
This guy's an official.
He's a Fed now, though,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, yeah. He's got a promotion, I guess.
He looked good too. I will say he looked pretty.
Oh,
sharp
you like a brunette, Paul Walker? Do you?
Well, I was talking about the suit.
Oh.
Like he looked good in a jacket and tie. You know, spruced up a bit. The guy,
cleaned
he's a
up nice.
good-looking man. He's a good-looking man.
Yeah, he's back. He's back working with them, and he's chasing down a criminal, and feels like every movie from around this time, we legit get the parkour type of scene. Though, really loved the move where the criminal, the guy that he's chasing, that Brian's chasing, is on the other side of the fence, and Brian just like body checks him off the fence. That was a smooth move.
Yep.
Knocks him down at least, buys you a little bit of time.
Yep.
Though, I guess when you body check, you'd help yourself. You also hold on to then like scramble over. But anyway, he gets him. Don't you worry. He takes him out, crashes him through the window, doesn't he?
Through the window. He's waiting to ambush him. He's expecting Paul Walker to come out that window.
Yeah.
But he just kind of crashes through the other window, tackles him off of a roof.
Yeah.
Right? Like
onto a van though.
Yeah, luckily there was a van there to break their fall.
Onto a van, though.
Broke his neck otherwise. But he's got him. And yeah, we are learning that they're trying to find this drug lord, basically, who's
David Park, was that his name?
Yeah, David Park is the connection.
The middleman.
He's the middleman.
But that's the name that he got out of the guy.
Out of the guy. Yeah.
Immediately.
That's
All
right.
he had to do was crash him off of a roof.
Yeah, he gave it
Also,
up quickly.
How about a follow-up question? I need a name. It's David Park.
All right, good.
I need an address.
Cool. David Park. Pretty common name. See ya.
That's basically what the FBI agency says. Like, David Park, there's only like 1,000 of those.
Could you give me any more information?
All right. We'll get back to the FBI. 3 months later, though, we learn Dom is residing in Panama City. Let's go back to Dom. And this is where he gets a call from his sister, Mia. Oh, Mia's back in our lives. That was nice. Who tells Dom that Letty has been murdered. Yeah.
Wow.
So Dom heads back to Los Angeles to attend her funeral, though he's at a distance. I mean, he's not a dummy. And Brian's there. The cops are there. They're stalking it out. I was thinking, she's not dead. This is where my mind immediately went. I'm like, she's not dead. They're trying to just like get him close to the graveyard, to the funeral here, and then apprehend him or bring him in or something like that. That's not where it ends up going, but that's what I thought watching it. I was like, nah, there's no way. There's no way she's dead. Even to the point where, and we'll get to it in a second, he does his whole like SVU breakdown where he turns into Bunk from The Wire, Dom, and he's like recreating the scene of Letty's crash and what happens. He's like picturing it and all this. I was even then still like, she's not dead. But
Yeah.
she dead.
I thought exactly the same thing, that it was some sort of entrapment scheme, because the feds are there so obviously taking pictures, and like they literally say, well, I thought he'd show up.
Thought he'd be here.
Yeah. And then like Paul Walker can like smell him. He's like,
Yeah.
he's like,
over
I know
by
he's
the
here.
oil. The
I smell oil and Corona. And armpit.
Another great look from Vin here when he's on top of the hill looking down. Just as intense as when he's leaving somebody in the middle of the night as watching a funeral. And like you're saying, Skeets, I mean, Brian knows. He knows that that's where he should look. He knows that that's where Dom will be watching from, near the oil. Derrick's. That's his natural habitat there. Maybe could have checked the first time. Right when you got there, looked right up like, hey, this is a hunch. Stozniak, is that his partner's name? The guy from Boardwalk
Empire? Yeah.
That's who I always think he
Totally.
is. I'm going to play a hunch here. My guy is going to be up by the oil. I'm going to go check it out, and then I'll come back down for the rest of this, and I'll report back. But looked about 30 seconds too late.
Yep.
Dom had seen enough.
He was gone. That's right. And so we do then get Dom examining Letty's crash. He wants to find out what the heck was happening, what happened, take me to the scene of the crime. And again, JD, I mean, this turns into like, he's like picturing it, and he's like finding traces of nitromethane on the ground. And then again, I was so confused though. I was like, he's picturing it happening. It looks sort of cool, I'll say. Yeah. Like the crash happening, and he's there, and it's sort of like almost like, you know, going through him in a weird way. But I'm like, how does he know? I guess he was probably told, but like, how does he know she was shot? Like, there's no evidence, is what I mean, at the scene of the crime for him to know she's shot. Now, I assume Mia has said she got shot in the head. I mean, that's what the coroner's report said. But anyway, what'd you think of this Dom recreating the crash?
I mean, as an audience member, I appreciated the visualization and the recreation of what happened. Dom just sort of standing there looking around and you know, him coming up with this. It's not Sherlock, you know, like he's no where we've seen this before in like recreation, like sci-fi stuff where it's just like this must have happened, and this kind of visualization is not new, but yeah, the idea that Dom just sort of, you know, it's so cliche, just bends down and like I thought he was actually going to taste that yellow powder or whatever, like you know, but he gives it a sniff, and now he knows. There's only one guy in LA that deals in this, what is it, nitromethane. Nitromethane. So gotta look for that guy.
So are we led to believe then that Dom is just keeping up with the supply chain amongst racers in Los Angeles? Because at some point they say he's been gone for 5 years, you know?
Yeah.
So
that's a great point.
I would imagine the market changes a lot in 5 years. His last contact with Letty, they say, was like 3 months prior. I suppose she could have been like, yeah, this guy's still moving nitromethane. Yeah. But I don't know, like one person, obviously it's in demand. The criminals are after it, so there's an opportunity there for a second person in LA to move this. I would think, we see how prevalent street racers are. Basically, every drug mule in the western half of the United States uses street racers as their drug mules. So you might be able to get in on it, but I don't know, just the one.
Yeah, that's a good point too, because later in the movie, doesn't Brian make like a little quip to Dom about like, oh, you're getting with the times a little bit more, like sort of going into like putting a little more technology in the car. Doesn't he say that?
Yeah, he does.
Like later on. So it's like, yeah, how in the know is he about all this stuff still happening there? You're an old man. I mean, things change. Even the mechanic, when he shows up, and that's where we go next, to the guy that, you know, is selling the nitromethane. The guy's even like, you've been gone, man. Things have changed. Yeah. You know, the new people in charge, he's not afraid of him. Though he should have been, because he gets the crap, kicked out of him. Drops the engine block nearly on the guy's head. But he's so strong, Dom is, that he just grabs it and holds it. And that's enough to get David Park. He gets the name that way from the mechanic, right. if I have that correct. Yeah, so now we have Brian and Dom. They know David Park is the name. And, you know, that's who ordered the fuel, and they're trying to find out this green 72 Ford Gran Torino, I think, comes up there too, where Dom gets that information, and that'll come into play too. Okay. So, we got both these guys with this information, because Brian right now, he's trying to track down this Mexican drug lord, Braga. And like we said, he's got the David Park name. So it's a race basically to David Park. Dom beats him. Dom beats Brian. He gets there first, and he's got him hanging out the window, TK, by his ankles. A classic television movie trope. Yeah, come on, give me the answers I want. What did you think about this? And then, of course, Brian arriving.
I just have to assume that Dom has been lifting weights the entire time that he's been away. A little bit of stealing gasoline, but mostly lifting weights, because, like you're saying, he catches the engine as it falls one-handed with the chain. He's holding the guy out the window with one hand, having a conversation with Brian, and the guy's like, hey, can we talk about this a little bit later? I'm hanging out the window here. But what a great meet cute for Brian and Dom to, encounter each other while Dom's hanging a guy out the window. Great way to get Paul and Vin back in the same room.
Oh, for sure. Brian saves Park because Dom basically just drops him.
Yeah.
And I really couldn't understand what happened there. Did the guy just manage to grab onto something?
He was holding on to a curtain.
Okay.
So I guess the question is, did Dom know that he was holding on to the curtain? Or was his intention just to kill David Park? I mean, I want to think that he knew, and that he knew that he was holding on to the curtain, and Brian would pull the guy up and give him a chance to get away.
Yeah, but, and that would be his little getaway. You're right. Yeah. So Brian does catch him, and then that's his new informant, because Park is gonna get Brian into at least this street race. Which is where we're going to head to very soon here. But we got to build some cars. My favorite thing about Fast and Furious, not the races, it's the car building montages, baby. Because Brian's is great, because he's got this plan. He's got to go in this race. He gets to pick from, whatever car they have in the impound, the cops have. It's like he's playing Street Fighter. It's like they're all up there, and he's of course says, that one, and that one. I can't remember the cars. And then they're like, well, what? And he's like, yeah, I want all three, like a kid in the candy store, TK, that he's picking his. And Dom, meanwhile, he's modifying his. And we get this montage of these guys building up their cars. I love it.
Yeah, pouring some oil, drinking some Coronas.
That's right.
All the good stuff. I mean, they must have a ton of cars in that FBI impound lot, because they just give them away willy-nilly.
Totally.
Brian, not only does he picking out cars, the first one he sees, he's like, 4158. Wrecked one of those before. Bud, we know you're gonna wreck these, but they still get pissed anytime the guy is speeding. Come on, guys. Yeah. You know he's out there to go as fast as possible. He's probably gonna destroy some of your impounded property. But I don't know. The overhead on these missions is crazy because Brian is just running through cars.
Oh, yeah. The FBI is always okay as long as they have a tracker on him. Yeah. But then that even gives them anxiety because they're like, oh, he's going through red lights. He's speeding. Well, yeah, he's playing the part, man. There's no rules when you're in illegal street racing. But yeah, they're always like, oh, he didn't have his blinker on. I'll have to talk to him about that later.
You had 3 moving violations in the past 3 blocks.
Yeah, it's like, come on, guys.
Okay, Dad.
Yeah, that's what he says. Okay, so we're building our cars. We're getting ready for the race. There is a little setup, the stakes, I guess. This is where we get Wonder Woman. Her name is Giselle, I believe, in the movie. She is the liaison between for Braga, I guess, the drug lord. And she reveals that the winner is going to become the last driver on a team here that traffics heroin between Mexico and the United States border. I did not know she was in this movie. Gal Gadot? Yeah. Had no idea. I read up. I think it's her first movie, on-screen movie.
I think you're right, yeah.
Just crazy. Really tiny part too when you think about it. I was like, okay, well, gotta get your start somewhere. Were you pleasantly surprised, JD, or shocked? I guess.
I knew she was in it because I saw her in the credits. I was wondering where her shoulders were because I've been so used to seeing her in Wonder Woman, and boy, she's thin in this. And I was just like, whoa, just her shoulders are so slender. But she's Gal Gadot's. She's great. One of the great beauties out there. One of
the great beauties.
I want to, I'm reluctant
gorgeous.
to say that she's. I'm reluctant to say that she's a good actor because I can't tell, to be honest. I mean, she can deliver lines and stuff, but I don't know. Wonder Woman, I thought she was awesome in the first one. I hated Wonder Woman 2, and I was like, oh, maybe it's her fault, but I don't know. I mean, this character, though, not her. The character's almost pointless. Totally.
It's like nothing happens with this character. I know, I guess that she gets saved by Dom and then gives up information to later get to Braga, but she's not even I was never oh, she's conniving or she's the brains or you never pick up. I never got any of that from her. I was like, oh, okay, she's just working for him and she's going to give us a little information. TK, was I missing something?
No, you're not missing anything, because there's that scene a little further on where she's, really coming on to Dom, and he's not totally having it because he's still in love with Letty in his heart.
Yeah.
So she's not even really the love interest in this movie. It's like they could accomplish this with any kind of character, basically, right? Somebody who, I guess the hitting on Dom part is basically like, we're showing Dom is still in love with Letty. She gives them, Dom has to save somebody from the other side's organization to get them in Dom's good graces, which then gives them the information on how to get to Braga, because apparently he is going to church after all this. And how else are you going to find him? So you need to figure out the GPS coordinates, but that could have been anybody. It could have been anything. It could have been basically off screen, but I don't know. They said that Gal Gadot was hired for this because she had experience with weapons from her time in the Israeli military forces. And there is that scene where she's cocking a gun.
Oh, I was going to say, I don't remember even having a weapon in her hand, but you're right. There was that. That was it, though.
I think so.
Yeah.
She's mostly just standing there watching, and it almost always feels like she's on the side of Brian and Dom, right? Like, maybe she's working for Braga, but she's just ready to flip. She's ready to flip immediately. She's looking for a reason.
Yeah, man. Get her on Survivor. You could pick up her for a number, no problem.
Hey, guys. Looks like we got some stale copy here, so bear with us here. Summer begins this month. It's half over here, but and you know what that means. It's time to save on life insurance. That way you'll have a bigger budget for summer things like pool floats and hard seltzers. Ain't no laws when there's White Claws, am I right? By the way, if you're the type to mix hard seltzer and water sports, you're gonna need some life insurance. Policy Genius makes it easy to compare quotes from over a dozen top insurers all in one place. You can save $1,300 or more per year on life insurance by using Policy Genius to compare policies. The licensed experts at Policy Genius work for you, not the insurance companies. So you can trust them to help you navigate every step of the shopping and buying process. Getting started is easy. Just go to policygenius.com. In minutes, you can work out how much life insurance coverage you need and compare personalized quotes to find your best price. When you're ready to apply, the Policy Genius team will handle the paperwork for scheduling for free. Policy Genius never sells your information to other companies, and they don't add on extra fees. Head to policygenius.com to get started right now. Policy Genius. When it comes to insurance, it's nice to get it right.
This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp Online Therapy. Check out betterhelp.com/nodunks. Life is full of stressors. Doesn't matter who you are, what you have, your life is probably stressful at times. Relationships, jobs, money, that's a lot of stress. I'm feeling it right now with upcoming travel. Eventually going to be going home in a couple of months, and you just gotta there's stress of seeing people. Well, first off, just traveling right now is obviously still a little weird. Getting there, how are we gonna get around, how are we gonna see everybody, it's stress. So unload the stress and get it out. Talk to someone who's completely unbiased about your life, someone who isn't going to judge you or take sides on anything. BetterHelp is customized online therapy that offers video, phone, and even live chat sessions with your therapist, so you don't have to see anyone on camera if you don't want to. It's much more affordable than in-person therapy, and you can start communicating with your therapist in under 48 hours. So unload the stressors and get some unbiased feedback. You'll probably be pretty surprised at what you might gain from it. And why not just see if it's for you? This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp, and No Dunks listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/nodunks. That's BETTERHELP.com/nodunks.
You need salt in your diet. And if you eat healthy, you're doing that clean living, you may need to add some salt to your routine without the junk. If you're low carbing or whole fooding, no, those aren't words, you may be getting hit with the keto flu. The keto flu, now, that's a thing. That one is real. By taking care of your body, you may be missing out on the good stuff your body requires. Element is a tasty electrolyte drink mix with everything you need and nothing you don't. No sugar, no filler, nothing artificial, no gluten, no BS. Element contains a science-backed electrolyte ratio. 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 200 milligrams of potassium, and 60 milligrams of magnesium. Here's your proof. Element is the exclusive hydration partner to many Olympic athletes, including Team USA weightlifting. Drink Element is a healthy alternative to sugary electrolyte drinks. Each grab-and-go stick pack replaces essential electrolytes with no sugar, no coloring, no artificial ingredients, or any other junk. As a member of our community, Element has a very special offer for you. Claim your free Element sample pack. Yeah, free. You only cover the shipping. Get yours here. drinklmnt.com/nodunks. Stay salty, my friends.
Let's get to the race. Koreatown Race. There is a lot to unpack from this. First off, before we actually start the race, we got this one dude doing top golf over top of everybody. What a weird setup that was. It's like, that's what it felt like, top golf, but it wasn't top golf, but he's like just hitting it onto a net where all then the cars are underneath. Very, very strange. We're going to get this race. We got one guy, though. I laughed out loud. The guy was like, hey, are we closing the streets here?
Yeah.
He's super concerned.
That's a valid question, I think.
I laughed out loud. It's like, you're right. We usually do that with all these movies. Not this time. No. We got this weird GPS Siri voice type thing going in your car. What did you think of the race? And we'll get to the ending of it all, JD, but just how it was presented to us. This voice telling us, take a right. You are 5 miles away. It's like, it sounded like the same voice from an NBC game show where they that one, like the one game where they had to like, I don't know, almost like do like 60, like, what was it called?
Minute to Win It.
Minute to Win It. I think it's the
yeah.
exact same voice.
Yeah, it probably is the same voice.
Yeah.
But yeah, how it was presented. Well, first of all, I was like, oh, boy, here we fucking go again with another audition. Okay, we saw this in Too Fast, Too Furious, but okay, fine.
Yep.
The GPS I thought was, very slick for 2009, very slick for 2021. But again, it's we're getting into Bond territory here, right?
Yes,
like with the technology is well beyond of where we are. I did appreciate the GPS part of it, just to give us sort of a place of where we are in the race, especially the part where Brian seems to be going in the same direction as Dom, but he's on a different level, right?
Yeah.
And it would have been almost impossible to relay that without the GPS, right? So that part of it was kind of cool. It's like, okay, I got to crash through here.
Yeah, because there's a funny part too where doesn't the GPS say like, take
Rerouting.
a U-turn? Yeah.
Take
U-turn. Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
That's what he takes.
Sorry,
off there.
car. He says as he drives over the edge back. He's like 5 miles behind. Sorry, car. Down over the edge onto the other highway. 1 mile. I'm back, Dom.
I have that written in my notes too. Sorry, car. I'm gonna start saying that all the time.
Yeah. You drive over a curb.
Tracks.
Oh, sorry, car.
Oh man.
And I did appreciate the callback, right, where it's they're in the home stretch. Dom hits his nos too late or too early. Dom too early, and then he hits his, and then Dom kind of cheats a little. Rams him right off it. Well,
he cheats.
I didn't know there were rules, Skeets. I didn't know there were rules. So in the end, I was fine with it, but I was just, oh my God, this is so tedious. Like, the guy who plays the villain, what's his name? Campos John Ortiz. He's great. And I love the flex of, here we are in my private driving range in the middle of Koreatown in, downtown LA, and all the cars are underneath my golf balls falling. It was a huge flex, and he's a great villain. And so I enjoyed that part of it. But yeah, it was ultimately it was fun, but I was just like, okay, is this going to be I hope this is the last audition race that we see in this franchise, because it's really tedious at this point.
Yeah, Trey, anything to add to the big race here?
I just like at the end when Dom has pulled out the victory, by smacking into Brian and pulling across the thing. And I think it's Phoenix, kind of like the lead henchman, comes in as soon as it's after. And what's he say? He says, "That's what I call a real driver." That's what I call a real driver, because they had the conversation earlier where they're like, we want real drivers only.
Yeah.
What's in the car? Doesn't matter to you. A real driver who knows what's in his car at all times. That's a real driver. He knew what was in his car.
Okay, so what's weird about this is Dom wins the race, so therefore gets the final spot in the heroin, smuggling, right? That's his role now because he won it, even if he cheated a little bit. But so you're like, I was like, oh, wow. Well, how's Brian going to get involved in this now? Cut to him like driving away and sees that creepy Dwight guy with the ladies all over him. And is like, the wheels are spinning. You can see Brian's thinking of something. Now, here is where mine went with this. I don't know why I thought this, and it would have been 10 times funnier. I thought he was going to impersonate the Dwight guy. Whoa. Because the guy had like long blonde hair, obviously had a certain style to him, was like just this skeezy guy. And I was like, oh, this might get really funny. I thought Brian, the cop, was going to like get rid of him, which he does, but get rid of him and then be him.
Throw his hair out and become
really
Dwight
cool.
Mullins.
Yeah, exactly. But that's not what happens. Instead, they like bust into Dwight's weird, I don't know, porno shoot, like foot fetish shoot there, and basically just puts meth on him. And then it like, this was the weird part to me. It was like, I felt like they just jumped to like, okay, that's his spot now because he got second. Is like, that was the thinking.
Yeah,
Right?
I have to assume that they just, the criminal organization probably keeps track of all the times, and they're taking the winner. But if anybody's disqualified from the winners, they take the next best time in the rest of the heats. So you have to, I guess Brian just was the next highest finisher.
I found that part so confusing.
Yeah.
I had no idea what was going on. So that guy, was he in the race?
So at a certain point,
race?
I think Giselle, Wonder Woman, shows us maybe the three guys, or maybe we see it from the FBI, actually.
It's the FBI.
Yeah,
They're basically like, there's a race coming up. Of course, he needs drivers. The guy needs drivers. We've already had 3 races, and there's a 4th one here. I don't know why you wouldn't just take the 4 drivers from the first race. That would be a quick way to get it done, but they do show he's on like the bill or on the computer screen.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
okay, gotcha.
That's how we know Dwight's. I mean, he must be a good driver. Must be a real driver. But he's out of there, and I think TK's right. I think it's like almost like qualifying for an Olympic final. It's like you maybe didn't win the race, but hey, put down a good time, and you might still get in.
You're up next.
Right.
Yeah, and have a chance. And as we know, having done a lot of movies here in the franchise already, you can't have a street race without 4 people in it. You absolutely have to have 4. Can't race with 3. Just can't do it. Gotta have 4. Even if you're only trying to find one person, you only need one winner. We have to have 4 out there. So, they're both in. All right, great. The team meets up with Braga's personal henchman. You said it, Trey. Phoenix. Thought his name was Felix the entire movie until I saw Wikipedia after. It's Phoenix.
Felix.
And Dom notices that Phoenix drives the same Torino that the mechanic described. This is all happening, if I have this right, at this weird party, right? They're at the strange party going on here.
Right.
Where Brian is trying to follow Braga, and then Dom's on the dance floor, and he's on the dance floor, and then sees like guys just come out of a weird elevator shaft. He's like, well, I'm checking that out, and that's where he finds the green car. But I'm sort of glossed over. A really great scene, I thought, was both guys at the party sucking back some Coronas with Campos. Campos. Yeah, not
Campos.
they think he's Campos, not Braga, but and that they're sitting there and they're doing like a little bit of like a little dance, JD, of like skirting around, basically blowing each other's cover.
Totally. Yeah.
Did you enjoy that scene?
I did. I enjoyed it very much. I like those two at loggerheads and sort of the mutually assured destruction, right? Like,
yes.
I could blow you up, you could blow me up, so let's begrudgingly sort of get through this, and I guess we're in competition, but we're kind of working together, and it's sort of leading down that path. But I also love that, Campos leaves, right? And then these girls come in. They just come in, right? Like, and they're obviously working with Campos, right?
Yep.
But then Brian and Dom just start candidly talking about, we're going to bring this place down. Like, it's like, yeah, it's just like these women work for these people. Like, they work here, man. I mean, I understand that they're, there's
a code, JD. There's a code,
I suppose there's a code with the hostesses in the organization, but it's like, wow, that's some cojones right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they only keep like the back cover underground information. They only keep it away from Campos, but they will gladly talk about it literally any time, despite the fact that, I mean, it seems like he owns the club, right? Or at the very least, it's a criminal hangout. Anybody could be listening, but they don't care. They're just sitting at the bar. He's like, what are the odds that an FBI would raid Dwight Mullins the night before the race? Crazy, right? Crazy. How do I know that? I just came out of jail. I don't know Jack Garcia. It's a big place.
We also get the little exchange, I thought was actually pretty funny, about Campos, like, you guys know each other? Like, the way you guys talk to each other is really weird.
Oh, yeah, that was cool.
And then Dom says, yeah, he dated my sister, didn't he? And then I think Campos says something along the lines of, like, I can't believe you're still alive.
Yeah.
Well, it was pretty good. So, yeah, they're weird little, like, Brian following Campos. He thinks he's going to see Bragas, right? Mm-hmm. That's what he's hoping for. I guess he gets a couple shot glasses that's got prints on them. And then, like I said, Dom finds the green car. So he's like, okay. Now this is starting to make some sense as to who killed Letty. We now go to, I believe, them getting the GPS call. Like, I mean, they're now under this criminal organization. They're drivers. They all arrive at a big warehouse. We get this little, I mean, it was not really needed, but we get the close call with Brian and that tracker in his car, like, beeping and flashing. And it's like, what does he end up doing? He just ends up ripping it out of the console and like putting it into his NOS drink, doesn't he?
That's he's like just unscrews it.
Yeah.
That easy.
Yeah, exactly. I know, it's really...
Oh, we lost him.
Put in there.
We made it super easy to find. The guy can reach it while he's driving.
But he installed it, didn't he? Like, didn't they give it to him to install?
I think you're right. Yeah.
What is the FBI doing? It's just like, you have to know that they're going to sweep for bugs or whatever, right? And then they lose contact with them, and then they immediately order a helicopter to go up. Like, what do you do? You want to blow his cover? Like, are you trying to submarine this thing right from the word go? So... yeah, I don't know.
This part got a little strange for me in following it because, again, they're in the warehouse. What happens? They put all their cars onto that big truck, that furniture truck, right? Mm-hmm. And I did laugh. I think Dom's just trying to get in a quick power nap. This is going to be...
just resting his eyes.
This is going to get wild, so I'm just going to rest my eyes for a second. I got these two guys bothering him. And where does this truck go? Does it go to the border, like on the American side? Is that
we are supposed to believe that it went to Mexico.
Yeah, they go from the United States to Mexico to then drive the drugs back.
Okay, that makes more sense. Okay. So the truck just got through the Mexican border, no problem.
Yeah, because but the Mexican side wouldn't necessarily check.
Okay. What do you got? You got some nice furniture on there? Come on through. Yeah, okay. That makes a lot more sense to me. I thought that was the case, but I was confused with, we're going to get to the tunnels in a second here. It was just a little strange. So we are in Mexico, and this is where I think Does Dom figure out that he like confronts Phoenix that we're gonna like get killed when the work is done? Is that right? And he figures out like that he killed Letty.
Yeah, he somehow puts.
How does?
Okay, so he's seen the Torino. He knows
Yes.
the Torino had the nitromethane.
Yes.
So I guess when he sees them put together, he's like, "Oh, this is the guy. I know my nos." Pretty much. I mean, it's really interesting. How in the world does Dom know it's him right away? I guess it's just because he gets out of the car.
Well, he knew it's Phoenix's car because Gal Gadot told him that's Phoenix's car. He's the boss.
It's true.
And then he at one point when they get to the warehouse, he goes, "Where's Phoenix?" or wherever, and she's like, "Oh, you're gonna see him out there, right?
He'll be leading you."
Yeah.
Right, and then that's right. But they had just done some driving through tunnels. Where are they? Where are they? Because when we get to the explosion that Dom sets off, and then they jump in the Hummer and all that, and take the heroin. Like, where have they gone? Are they just? They went through a tunnel.
Yeah, the tunnel took them across the border.
So now we're back in the
United
States.
Yes.
Okay. All right. And while driving, Dom has like for sure come to the realization that Phoenix is the guy that killed Letty.
Yes.
He
already knows that before.
Yeah, and he's like, but the plan is like, I'm gonna like create like the diversion, I guess, by sparking my vehicle explosion.
Right.
With the lighter and all that. And
I don't think he knows that their intention is to kill all of them.
Okay.
Until like I think Phoenix like pulls a gun on him. He's something like it's good for business, to get rid of the drivers afterward, and that's kind of how he knows that Letty would have been, in the firing line at that point. But apparently the way it went down was that there were a bunch of shots. Letty got away, drove away, and then Phoenix is like, let her go. Then we're gonna chase her down though. We are gonna let her go, but we're gonna go get her.
Yeah.
A weird move.
So it looks like Phoenix is going to kill Dom. You're right. Like this is it for our guy Dom. But no. He's perfectly timed it with his explosion to set off all the cars, including Brian's, who will let him know about that. And then in the ensuing chaos here, Dom and Brian hijack a 99 Hummer. Remember Hummers? And that's got the $60 million worth of heroin in it. And basically we have a chase, but they get out of there, right? I mean, what am I missing there? They escape.
They blow up whatever it is, 6 or 7 cars. It's a great diversion,
right? And
they get away. Yeah. Also, when Phoenix says it's good for business, is it? I mean, you're gonna kill drivers every single time you do this. Then audition them. You have 4 auditions through the streets of LA. It seems like it would draw a lot of attention to yourself.
Maybe just keep your really good drivers.
That's right.
Just keep them, keep paying them, keep them well fed, get them all the oil they need, all the Corona they want to drink. But no, you're right. I guess the idea is like they know too much. They know the tunnels.
Yeah, I guess.
They know the tunnels.
They could rat on us.
You would think maybe this would raise suspicions among the street driving crew. What happened to Letty?
Yeah.
She went to work for Braga, right?
Right.
Never came back.
No, weird.
What about Johnny? Yes. Oh, yeah. We went to work for Braga a few months. Haven't seen him. For some reason, all these top drivers on the circuit, they keep going to work for this guy, and we never hear from him again. But I hear he's got another audition tonight. You want to go down to the golf course and throw down a lap?
Okay, I actually have one more question. With them going through the tunnel, like bringing the heroin back, what was happening? Like, was there like a little pissing contest going on in that tunnel between Phoenix and Dom? Like, they seem to be pissed off with each
Dom
other.
kind of like swings out wide right before pulls up next to him. How dare you?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a pissing contest, I think.
Like, we know they don't like each other, for sure.
To me, it's a little bit hard to figure out what's going on in the tunnels, period. Because, I mean, in this one...
I hate the tunnels.
Yeah, the tunnels are tough. But at least in this first part in the tunnels, they're just trying to get through it. They're just trying to go together as a team here. And even that is confusing. And that's,
Yeah.
so, I mean, when they go through it again a little bit later, it's pretty hard to follow.
That's what I mean. It feels like even though they're all on the same team, it almost turns into a race. It feels like it's got the vibe of it, but they're not racing. That part was confusing. I think, they're just like, screw you. Yeah, my car's faster. Watch this. Yeah. Anyway, Dom and Brian.
Also, don't forget that Giselle is on the horn the whole time going, you got to get out of there.
Yeah.
30 seconds.
Okay. Okay, so why?
Because they were made right away. Like as soon as, which I don't understand the point of the tunnels, because the border guards had some sort of infrared system, right? Like, so they were detected before they go into the tunnels, right? So if they do this all the time, then like surely the Americans would figure out, okay, well, they disappeared here and they're going to come out somewhere, so maybe we should station some guys or something. I
didn't understand that at all. They're like, like she's saying, you're right, get out.
Yeah.
They're getting out on the American side.
Right.
They got a chopper.
Yeah.
But like, so then what happened? They come out onto the American side, right at the border.
It's very weird.
It doesn't make any sense.
They get out, and the way they make it look is they get out in time, that they get out into the mountains, right? And they're kind of like peeling away off to the right. But the helicopter comes in, they're like, we don't have visual.
Yeah.
Right.
Fair. Okay, maybe they weren't coming out where you expected them, but you're in the middle of a mountain range. It's the middle of the night, and there are 5 to 6 cars driving in a line with their lights on. Like, I know you didn't see them exactly where you thought, but if you look out the other window, it'd be easy to spot them. You would think that they would somehow at some point get caught at some time doing all of these runs, which apparently happen all the time because they start talking about the $60 million in heroin, and Brian's like, it doesn't matter. He's just going to send more shipments. So it's happening all the time.
Yeah.
But they just never look out the right side window to see where they're going?
And why are they, like you said, JD, how are they tracking them when they're in the tunnels? Why do they have a better idea of where they are when they're actually underground?
Yeah, I don't know.
Than when they pop out and now they're just in a mountain range. That was so that's why I was confused at the start here when I was like, what side are they on? Where are they? Anyway,
why are they doing this? What is going on? See, this is the mistake that I made off the top of this movie. You can't think about it.
No, you're right. So, okay. Dom and Brian, they've got the heroin in the Hummer there. It's nice to see a Hummer again in my life, for sure. You don't see them around anymore.
Was that an actual Hummer or a Humvee? Like it seemed
I thought it was
bigger.
a Hummer H1. I think it was.
Okay, all right.
I think. So they decide, let's take this ride with all the heroin in it, and we're going to put it in a great spot. No one will ever know or think to go there and look for it. At the police impound. Dom's like, really? He's like, yeah. Brian's like, they wouldn't look here. Don't worry, I use all these cars eventually. I ruin every single car here.
They know me here.
Yeah.
I'm here all the time.
I've got like one of those subway passes, when you get like a free sandwich after your 10th one. I'll get my 11th car for free. So that's where they put it. And then I think this is where Brian's like, you owe me a car because you blew up my car with that slick move you did back there. And so Dom, doesn't he just smash the window? Does he smash the window? Yeah, he just smashes the window on a 2008 Subaru. And they're like, here you go. All right, cool.
The man is wanted worldwide. He's in a police impound lot. They just hid $60 million in heroin.
Yeah.
Way to keep it low pro, Dom.
And then go back to Dom's house. Like, that's where they go, or Mia's house, Dom's house, whoever's house it is, and they reunite with her, and they crack some Coronas and have some Chinese food.
Oh, hold on, but also, sorry, there's one thing that happened that I found very distracting during all of this. Dom gets shot.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I forgot about that.
Well, it's understandable that you would because he barely reacts to it. It's like he doesn't even like recoil from it. You just see the bullet go in basically. But then they show him bleeding, and this is the kind of thing that takes me out of movies all the time. It's just like, hey, we got to get you to a doctor.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay. Get in the car. They drive to the pound. They drive all over the place. He hasn't even taken off his jacket. Like, he's bleeding
He's
all
fine.
over the inside of that Hummer. Like, you're gonna die, man. Like, you're gonna bleed to death. You know,
Which
kind of
arm
thing.
did he smash the windshield or the window
question.
from? Was it the same arm? I hope it was his other one. I think he got shot. I feel like he got shot in the left. I don't know, shoulder area.
I think you're right.
Chest,
yeah.
arm, and then I think he smashes the window with his right.
Yeah.
But you're right, JD. It barely affects him. It's like somebody bumped into him at the grocery store. It's like, easy, bud. Man, my shoulder.
I just proved that point. I forgot he was even shot.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't even put it in my notes.
Well, there's a whole sequence of Mia patching him up, saying, "Hey, this is gonna hurt," and he's like,
"No." She says the bullet's not in there.
Yeah. Well, where did it go? Because
Where
there's
is
no exit wound, as far as I could tell.
Yeah, I don't know. But she
okay.
patches them up, and like I said, they ordered some Chinese food, and they had their Coronas, and they're all just kicking it. And then, Dom finds out by way of cell phone that Brian was the last person to have contact with Letty. Right? So Dom just gets up, goes to his room, her room, wherever, finds this box, I guess, finds the cell phone, and then that's he sees it says Letty on it, but it's her phone.
It's
right?
her phone, yeah.
Yeah, and then of course the number, he calls the last number, and that's right. Brian's cell phone starts going off, and that pisses Dom off. What did he have to do with this? Tax Brian right there in the apartment, really throws him into a really nice bookcase, had a lot of things on it. Down it goes. That's going to be a hell of a mess for Mia to clean up. But Brian screams at Dom while he's kicking the crap out of him that Letty was working undercover, man. She was tracking down Braga in exchange for clearing your record, man. You did this. You killed Letty. Let that sink in, big guy.
Wow.
Yeah. What do you think, Trey?
I mean, you can tell it was really eating at Brian because as Dom leaves, I'm sorry, Dom, I'm sorry. I don't know. How did Letty get into the same organization? I think the criminals in Fast and Furious do a pretty poor job of vetting their criminal associates, right? Even Brian getting in with Dom, that was too easy for Brian. All you gotta do to be good is literally have skills with a car. And they're like, cool, man. If you can drive fast, I don't care. I will do the bare minimum because they hired 3 drivers from the same crew, all of which are trying to bring down this guy. Braga, all he's got is the old switcheroo. He doesn't have many other tricks up his sleeve, I don't think.
No.
Again, this is a terrible strategy, killing your drivers, because you have to... Eventually, you're gonna get to cops. If you go through that many drivers, there's gonna be some people who don't have your best interest at heart. All
right. So Dom leaves in a tizzy, and we now get a bunch of FBI stuff. I laughed out loud. The FBI up to Brian at some point. I don't know if I have it in the right order here, but it says, "You better have one hell of an explanation." Let's see here. But Brian basically tells his superiors that in exchange for Dom's pardon, he will lure Braga into a trap and then force him to show up, exchange money for the heroin, and then at the drop site, they could get him. That's the plan. I have glossed over a lot of the FBI stuff, him getting into it with the other cops. Mainly, I guess, the time where he steals Mia, right? When did that even happen? I can't keep track with
that's
the
near
FBI.
the beginning, yeah.
That was, right. Because he takes the guy from Boardwalk Empires.
Yeah.
She's in there.
Yeah.
And then, you're right, that's a long time ago. So but then he's pissed off about that, and Brian just beats the crap out of him, too.
Yeah.
Brian gets away with a lot of stuff, man. This guy's
he's a terrible police officer. He's absolutely the worst. He has no business working in law enforcement.
Right, that's a good point. So, we can just go to the drop site here. The man who claims to be Braga, he comes out. He looks like a Braga. This guy looks cool, man. This guy looks like he's a drug overlord. But he's not. He is revealed to be a decoy.
Via fax machine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was really confusing. This whole what's going on back with what's her name? Brian's
Trin?
Contact with the FBI.
Yeah, it might be.
Brian's assistant or partner.
Yeah.
Is it Trin?
It's possible. Very possible.
Yeah, I'm looking at IMDb and I'm seeing. I think it's her. I think it's Trin.
What's going on here though? They're waiting on the prints from the shot glasses. I know there was a big holdup with the databases that they were gonna have to be doing this through. Like,
Yeah, gotta manually enter them all. Gonna take some time.
why not wait?
My guess is it's-
wait a day or two then for the drop?
Yeah, why not wait until you actually have all of the
Yes.
evidence before going for it? But yeah, incredible delaying of the reveal here to not only set it up early, like this is gonna take a long time. They're gonna have to do a lot of work to figure this out. Then they do get confirmation, and like JD said, it's a fax machine. In 2009, they're faxing that info, and we only get half the page at first.
Yeah.
Oh no! How are we gonna do this without seeing the head? Because, a lot of printers come bottom first.
Yeah.
You ever seen a printer that does that?
Hey,
Pulls
Trey,
out the bottom part?
It's a heavily modified fax machine like those like the pickup trucks at the beginning of the movie.
Heavily modified. Not factory tuned.
So
Bottom first.
we learned that Campos this whole time he's the real Braga. That's a slick move by him. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
The decoy there. He escapes with Phoenix, and they're off to Mexico. Within this, the chaos, though, Phoenix nearly runs over Giselle, but Dom saves her. He's a hero here. And look, the failed trap, if you want to call it that, gets Brian taken off the active duty. That was it. He had this one to get it right. He blew it. Although I wouldn't say he really blew it. It's just
definitely did not blow it.
Yeah.
And in fact, they were saying the brass was like, move in, and they're like, we haven't heard. He hasn't given us the signal yet. Like, we're not,
right, true.
Like they had already figured it out on the ground, right? Like they were like,
Yeah.
I don't think this guy is Braga. Like this is definitely not Braga.
Yeah.
Move in anyways. And now that I think about it, didn't the top brass go like, you got to solve this in 2 days or whatever, 48 hours. I'm giving you 48 hours, Brian. And that's why they win, and that's why they didn't wait for the evidence, the quote unquote evidence. But still, come on.
Yeah. So Brian, you're out of here again, man. I don't know how many strikes this guy gets with the force, but he going again. We cut to, I think we cut here to Dom brooding once again at the cemetery. Just a quick shot, TK.
Yeah.
Acting from Vin Diesel, seeking revenge.
Yeah, he's really feeling it when the arms are crossed. Skeets.
Yeah.
Staring down, man. That's when Dom is at his most brooding, is when he's looking angry. There's no other way to say it, but just standing. We get a shot of the gravestone too, right?
What did it say?
Leticia Ortiz.
That's what it was. It was really dark on my screen. I was like, I'm not rewinding that to actually see what it was. But I was like, I know it doesn't say Letty. I was thinking like, oh, I wonder if like diehard Fast and Furious fans are like, oh, that's her real name. Like, was that the reveal? I don't know. Did anybody care? Who knows?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. I love those shots. I will say that Justin Lin is great at setting up those. They look like album covers, or is it,
Totally.
there is just it's just an awesome visual in the movement of the camera. I mean, it looks great. It's like a music video almost, I guess, but I love those little motifs that he does. They're great.
We go now to, I think we're at Dom's garage. I think is where we end up. It's like, again, if they really wanted to bring this guy in, he's like in one of two spots. Like, just go to one of those spots. It's usually at his garage. That's where he's at, which I think is his house. I don't know. But Brian and him, team up here. Let's go get Braga. Let's do this together. We get a great line. Trey, I'm sure you loved it. Maybe you wrote it down. Where he says, Buster became a gearhead. Dom says to Brian, who knows a ton about cars. So, like, it was a weird line because I was like, he's sort of always known about cars. Like, that's one thing you can't say, or, that's one thing you can say about Brian. Yeah, guy knows cars. I guess he's got the respect of Dom here now.
You met him at a street race.
Yeah.
Like, when you met him, not only did you meet him at a street race, he was working for an auto parts store.
I know. It's like, he's been a gearhead.
They literally built a car together, didn't they? Like,
yes. Their relationship is basically started by cars. That's like the one thing they have in common from the jump. But I guess the Buster has become a gearhead.
Yeah, it was fun to hear Buster again. I will say I smiled at that. So the same sort of scene, same setup here. Mia comes home doing some late night grocery shopping. She's upset, but Brian and her make out. It's all good. And then they say goodbye. And Mia says goodbye to her brother Dom as they head off. They're going to travel to Mexico here and try and get Braga. So that's where they go. Anything to add from that little scene there at the house or the garage with Mia saying goodbye and the little sexy time between Brian and Mia? No, JD, nothing?
I honestly, nothing. I mean, it was a little bit emotional when Dom she's like, how do I say goodbye to my only brother? And he's just like, you just don't say goodbye.
Interesting you said only brother, too. Yeah, doing a little research into that line, and spoiler alert, I don't think that's true later on down the line. But anyway, we'll leave that right now.
Check out this opportunity. We're finally not selling you something. This is a free shot to do something cool, so listen up. We have teamed up with the Royal and Ancient Golf Club of St. Andrews to offer you the chance for a once-in-a-lifetime experience to be at one of golf's biggest events in 2022. We're giving our listeners the chance to be at St. Andrew in Scotland for the 150th Open Championship next summer. You will see the likes of Tiger Woods, Rory McIlroy, Phil Mickelson, and defending champ Colin Morikawa battling out to be the champion golfer of 2022. And you and your friends and family can be there by entering a ballot today at theopen.com/theathletic. The Open is one of the most prestigious events in sport, and this 150th Open at St. Andrews in 2022 will be a special one. So for your chance to be there, head to theopen.com/theathletic and enter the ballot for the 150th Open at St. Andrews in 2022 today. That's theopen.com/theathletic.
It has been a weird year or two. And like many of you, I watched as a number of special occasions got postponed. My sister-in-law's wedding, my grandparents' anniversary, a friend's big 40th birthday bash, and so on. Probably been a while since the last time you had an excuse to dress up. I've worn nothing but No Dunks t-shirts for the past 18 months. But, whenever that chance comes next, don't you worry. It is coming. Make the absolute most of it with Indochino. I did a little online Indochino shopping recently. Decided to get myself a custom short-sleeved dress shirt for an upcoming trip to the islands that hopefully happens. You know, something light, something breezy, something I could wear to a nice restaurant. But short sleeve, because it's gonna be hot. Got Nora to help me out with the measurements. Did the neck, the shoulders, the waist, the classic body parts when it comes to making a shirt. Indochino offers completely custom fitted suits, shirts, casual wear, and more at surprisingly affordable prices. It's really convenient how you take your measurements and then upload them online into their system. Very, very simple. Even I could do. Every piece is made to your exact measurements, and you can customize every detail. You can choose everything when it comes to a suit, from the fabric and the statement linings. Everything. The lapel. Create a suit that fits you and your style perfectly. Indochino is now open at select Nordstrom stores, giving you even more ways to get great fitting, personalized clothing. Find your nearest location at Indochino.com. And right now, you can get $50 off any purchase of $399 or more by using the code NODUNKS at checkout. That's 50% off a purchase of $399 or more at INDOCHINO.com. Promo code, you already know it, NODUNKS. So they are off to Mexico to try and catch Braga. I guess they're in a rebuilt 70 Dodge Charger RT. They get the help from Wonder Woman, Giselle. She gives them directions. We have a little moment there between them, Dom and Giselle, for saving her life. Again, she's like, here you go. Bye.
Yeah.
So weird. And you want to talk about, I was like looking at the time in the movie at this point, like, Jesus, like we got to get this guy still. And then like, what's going to be the fallout with these two guys? I'm like, you'd think it would take a little bit of time to find Braga. Nope. I guess she's given them the coordinates and he's at a church. Mm-hmm. They sneak up on this guy so easily. It was like, I laughed out loud how easy it was. Like, I get it. He's in church. He's praying. But there's a bunch of his henchmen out there. Like, how did they get in? They just came in the back. Like, it was really easy. So, you think Dom's going to shoot him. Braga, he doesn't, though. No. We're going to do this like, Brian's way, I guess.
Brian style.
We'll put him in jail. And then Phoenix gets a call. Gets pulled away from his cockfighting. He is pissed.
He's really mad about that.
He is so pissed. He must have had like a really good bird in that fight. Because he is livid. And I don't think he's livid that he's got to go help out Braga. He's livid that he's like getting pulled away from this cockfighting. And then this thing just turns into a scene from Mad Max. You said it, JD.
Yeah.
It's like we get this whole desert shot and they're trying to escape. They're trying to hit the tunnels again. They of course do. They're being chased by everybody. We get a bunch of tunnel stuff here. It ends with Brian getting T-boned because of Phoenix. Do they just crash through the side of the mountain and spit out on the other side? I don't know. We got Dom jumping from his car into another henchman's car. He pushes him out. He takes control. It sets off this chain reaction of tunnels collapsing. Mm-hmm. He kills all these guys because he basically gets them trapped in the mountain there. And then before Phoenix, because they've like crashed out the side of the mountain or the tunnels, Phoenix is going to kill Brian. But here comes Dom. Saves the day. Just straight drives his car into Phoenix. He chops the dude in half. I did laugh. Brian holding his foot.
Yeah.
You're not going anywhere, buddy.
Grab. Gotcha.
And yeah, Dom avenges Letty's death there by driving his car into him. And then, we can go back over things if you want, guys, but as the police and helicopters start showing up, Brian says, Dom, you got to get out of here, man. But Dom refuses. He's not running anymore. Man, almost took me back to Tokyo Drift, where Sean said, no, Dad, I gotta deal with this a little differently. We can't keep running from our problems here or the mistakes we made. And I'll stop there for a second. Tunnel sequence. A fan of it, JD, or no?
Not a fan. It's too dark. It's impossible to tell what the hell was going on. I mean, I guess I appreciated that we've been in the tunnels before and we know that they're confusing, and but the whole thing with Dom. I don't know what was more preposterous, him removing the door of his car or him jumping into the other person's car, But you know what? Fine. That's all fine. We're getting into superhero James Bond stuff, and that's good. That's where we want to go. That's where this whole thing is headed. But honestly, the biggest problem I had was avoiding getting shot by popping a wheelie in a car.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like,
that is the part where Dom is driving at Phoenix, and he's going to let fire, and he pops it up. You're right. Blocks himself.
How is that done? I mean, drifting is a mystery to me, but actually pulling off a wheelie in a car, I can understand the torque when you're just starting a race, and we've seen it before. But that makes more sense to me. But just at will, just yanking back on that steering wheel, how else is it done?
Yeah, he doesn't. Yeah, we don't think he has hydraulics on this thing. It's not like a low rider.
It's not even his car, right?
Yeah.
Like he's into somebody else's car and he instantly knows how to pull off the wheelie. I'm with you, JD. Like, okay, it's unbelievable that he pulls off the wheelie the first time when they're racing, but at least it's from the start. So maybe, I don't know. I don't understand how it works physics-wise, but at least you can fake it and be like, oh, they're starting from a stop. Whee! Here we go.
Yeah.
But a mid-drive wheelie... a little unbelievable
Yeah.
in a car that he's been driving for about 30 seconds at that point. That's why he's the best.
Yeah, I hate the tunnel racing. It's just so confusing. I couldn't believe I was hoping, or I was wishing there was a bunch of people on cell phones recording it and putting it to StreamYard so I could maybe follow it a little better.
Standing in the tunnel.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But
I mean, the fact that they're in a tunnel doesn't bother me as much, but it's so tight and so close, and I wonder if Justin Lin was just like, we kind of screwed ourselves here, because you can't get a wide shot. You can't get any perspective of where we are in relation to everybody else. You needed a GPS, I think, in that scene as well.
Yeah.
You know, like some sort of indicator of where we were and what the hell was happening.
Well, that's so true, because they probably were like, these tunnels, like if we're being realistic here, they're going to build the tunnels only one car width, probably. I guess maybe they're going back and forth, but they turn it into like a 2-lane highway.
Right.
In the tunnel there. And we have like offshoots and like you can go left and right and like, I think just trying to give it a little bit more space to work with and decisions to be made of where to go. But yeah, not a fan of the tunnel racing. I was happy it ended.
I also just think it's like very strange that they did 2 tunnel races in the same movie. Like we didn't really need to go back and see that again. Through the first time it was confusing, but I mean, it's cool to see once, but you're just doing the exact same thing the second time. That being said, something that always works for me in these movies is when the villain is sitting in the passenger seat driving along with somebody. We saw it in Too Fast when Brian and Roman were both driving and they had the assassin sitting in their front seat. They had jokes going back and forth. I think Braga's great here, where he's like, woo, you getting nervous?
Yeah.
You sure you know where the tunnels are? You know, I just love that concept, having the villain sitting there heckling the guy who's trying to take him down.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Would have loved an ejecto seat, though.
Oh, needed an ejecto seato. Come on, inside the mountain?
Yeah. Ooh, bang. Okay, it is what it is. Despite Brian's request for clemency, the judge sentences Dom to 25 years to life in prison. A little nice little twist, I thought. You know, I guess you're just thinking, they're probably going to let him off here. He did save his life. He saved an officer's life. Mm-hmm. But the judge is like, I mean, you did one right thing, but you basically just broke the law for the last, 30 years of your life here. You're going to jail, man. Now, 25 years of life, maybe a little harsh. No parole, I think he says, too. He slips in there. But, Brian, of course, done with the FBI, got Dom boarding a prison bus, going to be transported to the penitentiary. And the movie ends with, oh, yeah, you guessed it, Brian, Mia, Leo, and Santos arriving in their cars to bust Dom out. And that's where we end. A little cliffhanger there. They like to do that in the Fast and Furious franchise, don't they? Like set up the final thing, but not really show you what happens. Leaves it to your imagination. But
yeah, the implied hijacking.
Yeah.
What a way to end.
Yeah, and that's the movie. We just went through that whole damn thing. Yeah. Okay, so we'll do this a little quicker than normal here because I feel like we took a long time. Really detailed breakdown.
Covered a lot.
We did cover a lot. We did. JD, we'll go to you first. The Fast is your favorite scene, car, quote, whatever. What did you love?
My favorite scene, I mean, it's a bit of a stretch saying it's my favorite scene as if I liked this movie, but I was surprised when Dom calls on Letty's phone and Brian's phone rings. Mm-hmm. I was legit like, oh shit! Like this is okay.
Yeah.
I wonder why Brian didn't mention like what was the reason for not telling Dom right from the very beginning. But I was surprised. I was shocked, and I did. I liked that sort of the tension that it added to an already tense relationship between them. So. And I was surprised, and I always like to be surprised. So, and I love that trope of I wonder whose phone is going to ring, and it's like, oh, it's the guy next to me who's been, so that was cool. But I don't have a lot of favorites in this movie, unfortunately.
I thought earlier in the movie, crossed my mind when we saw the silhouette of the killer, Letty's killer. I was like, that looks like Brian.
Ooh.
I was like, could this be Brian? So I was getting excited when the cell phone was going off too. Like, whoa, what's the move here? Now, that all said, we sort of had learned the whole Phoenix part with the green car and the nitromethane and all that. But yeah, I went from thinking this is a fake out, she's actually alive, to get Dom back, to then like, wow, did Brian kill her? Like, what went wrong there? And he's trying to keep that from Dom. But in the end, it's just this guy whose name is Phoenix, not Felix, Phoenix.
Yeah. I also, I read or I heard, I don't know where I heard this, but somebody was watching the movie and they thought that maybe Letty was Braga because we don't see, Braga is just a mystery, right? A faceless person. But that would have been kind of cool if she was somehow Braga, like she had sort of gotten so deep that she was running the thing or whatever. And I don't know, that could have been interesting. But that's not what happened.
No. Trey, you got a favorite part of this movie?
Yeah, a couple of the action set pieces are great. I do love the opening heist. It's a very Fast and Furious is back kind of moment for me, but, it's basically recreating a combination of the first scene from the first movie and the last scene from the first movie.
Yep.
But in the first one, we don't know it's Dom the first time around. And in the second one, Dom drops the ball in that last heist. It's basically Brian and Letty who end up being the heroes here. But as we see, the game has changed, and now Dom is in hero mode. That, to me, is the best action piece of the movie, followed closely by the get on the team race, which is Dom and Brian head-to-head for the first time. Like we've said, there's the city driving, there's the rerouting joke, a lot of callbacks with the too early. Dom calls him still a buster. And, of course, there were no rules when you're racing. It's all about winning out there. So I thought that was great. It was kind of, both of those are a throwback to the first movie to me, saying, oh, remember our semi-truck heists? Now we've upped the ante a little bit here, but we're still going to give you a little bit of fan service seeing these two throw down.
I think one of my favorite scenes, and I want to slip it in here because I don't think I brought it up when we were doing the breakdown. I liked Brian having a coffee with Mia. And I liked a couple of the lines in it. I mean, basically her telling him, maybe you're not the good guy trying to be the bad guy. Maybe it's the opposite. Maybe you are actually one of the bad guys and you're putting on this good guy routine. And then she also asks him, and it's a question we've always sort of wondered, like, why did you let my brother go that day? And he says at the time in the coffee shop, he says, I don't know. But then later, doesn't he say, basically the answer was just respect, wasn't it?
I respected him more than I respected myself.
That's right.
Is what
That's right.
He said.
Yeah, he wishes he was Dom, really. And a lot that he stands for, family, I think, more importantly than anything. So I like that scene. I thought that was good. And I think that's actually where maybe learning a bit of the timeline, too, where she's like it is 5 years later. Yeah. She says that, and she's pissed that he's a liar and all this. I thought it was good. And then they circled back when they're making love there in the kitchen, and they follow up on that. The Furious, dumbest scene. Things you hated the most. Trey, we'll start with you. What was your least favorite part of this movie?
Any Dom and Giselle love scene is my least favorite part of this movie. She gets his number at the first race, which, okay, sure. I mean, I guess she likes bad boys, but a little unbelievable. Even worse is the car sex scene. Anytime Vin Diesel is reading lines about how women are like cars, I just hate it. I'm one of those boys that appreciates a fine body regardless of the make. I like a girl who ain't afraid to get a little bit of engine grease under her fingernails. I mean, I don't like Dom. To me, not a believable sex symbol. And it's also very weird that the entire reason Dom is back in the States to begin with is that he's investigating the love of his life's death. And I mean, he turns down Giselle at every single chance he gets. Respect to that. But you're macking on her, man. You are flirting with her pretty hardcore, and you were just at your girlfriend's funeral, man.
Yeah.
I don't know, Dom. I believe you as an action hero, but not a love interest, totally.
Well, as Los Bandoleros sort of establishes, he's a bit of a ladies' man, right?
Oh, God. He's got like 3 women draped on him when Letty shows back up.
That's right.
And then they actually kiss, and she's like, ugh, gross. I got like stripper saliva or something like that.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Also, what about the ratio of 80% devil, 20% angel? That's not a good ratio, I don't think. No. Like, you want 50-50 minimum. I mean, you want somebody who's going to, steal a fry from you every once in a while or slap your ass. 80% devil is shitting in your magic spoon, man. Like, legitimately, like, that's causing problems, man. Like,
too high on the percentage there.
Too much devil.
80% is steep.
My least favorite part, definitely any of the tunnel racing, which we've already gone over. Not a fan of it. Just sucked. It was tough to follow. It wasn't exciting. Yeah. What about you, JD?
Same. The tunnel stuff, I hated. I hated that we had to audition. There was another street race of it that was audition. I hated the wheelie. Yeah. I hated that there were no rappers in this movie. I hated that where was Tyrese? I would have loved Bow Wow in this. Yeah.
Although, those two guys were, artists.
Yep. They're musicians.
Artists. Yep, musicians.
So, yeah. And I think one of their songs is in the soundtrack.
I think so. I think so.
And I read, then I think it came out of the director's commentary that Vin Diesel asked Justin Lin, what is this movie about? Like, what is it actually about? I've read the script, but what is it about? And Justin Lin is like, it's about sacrifice. And Dom is basically Jesus, right? Oh, so, right. I look back and I was like, oh my God, can you imagine how insufferable Vin Diesel was? Like, there's this, like you're playing, now he's got it in his head, he's playing Jesus. Yeah. It's Fast and Furious, man. And then there's this awful shot. I mean, it's a gorgeous shot, but they're overlooking the town, right? Like where they're going to go get, what's his face in the church.
Braga, yeah.
And they're talking and they're like, okay, we're going to go do this. But there's this part where Vin Diesel's got his hands like this and he's got his crucifix. No, it's not a crucifix, but it's it's like rosary beads and this cross. And it's just like, no, come on, man, come on. And by the way, if you're making the ultimate sacrifice, which he does, he says, I'm not running. I'm going to face the consequences. Whatever happens. I'm going to take what's coming to me. But then it's a life sentence, and it's like, okay, he seems like I'm ready to get busted out of here. You know what?
Yeah.
Maybe let's forget about the Jesus thing. I'm going to get out of here.
Yeah, I think he thought he might get like 5 to 10 or something.
Yeah.
You're going away for just break me out.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is one of my favorite lines is when Brian is explaining to Dom at the meetup when they're going to meet the real Braga. And he's like, if this goes well, they're going to let you off. You still leave out milk and cookies for Santa Claus? Brian says, yeah. Yeah, I do.
Of course he does.
Sorry, car. Some weird ass lines in this movie, man. I will add one other thing I hated. I can't stand the way Dom drinks a beer at times. I hate when somebody
he's got it on the neck,
bottleneck.
Right? Yeah.
Well, he goes full fist though on it, and then drinks it. Now he does it the first time at the party scene. Then they cut to him drinking again. Now he's drinking it like a normal human, where he's holding the base, and then they go back to him again, and he's back to his chokehold. And I can't stand how that looks. Yeah. I hate it. Hate it. Mi familia. This is a part where we get somebody from our families that maybe had a question, an observation. Could be a wife, could be a kid, somebody else in your family. Trey, we'll go to you for this one. Did Laura watch this with you, or what do you got?
She watched the first hour, I would say, with me. And my favorite observation. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's why I let her go, because of respect. You made it through an hour. That's all right. You can go up. We're watching, it's at the part, I guess you would call it the Letty murder investigation.
Sure.
Basically, it's just Dom looking back and forth, up and down a road. Yep. Cracks the case because he knows about the nitromethane. But when you're thinking about it, similar to LeBron or MJ in Space Jam, that's all CGI stuff. So the guy's just out there. Vin Diesel is just out there looking back and forth up the road. And I'm trying to get Laura hyped up because Vin has got to show that Dom is looking completely and totally destroyed. And I'm just saying to Laura, I'm like, oh, he looks mad. Look how mad this guy looks. Look at his face. Look how mad he is. And she says to me, his face looks the same as it does in every other scene of the movie.
Yeah.
And that's 100% true. And I think that that's where some problems come in here. There's a lot of acting for Vin Diesel to do in this one. You know, he's got to be distraught. He's got to be angry. Very rarely cracks a smile, I would say. So he's doing a lot of intense brooding. And he's not got a lot of depth to his brooding, I don't think. Even when he's cracking the case of the murder of his girlfriend, just looking up and down the road. Mm-hmm. Laura, look how mad he is. Just look how mad.
No, that's just how he looks.
The same. That's just how he looks.
Yep. Okay.
True.
Love it. Great observation there from Laura. Okay, well, let's get to grading this fourth movie in the franchise. So the two questions. Scale of 1 to 10, what are you giving it, JD? And then, like, where does it fall in your power rankings for the franchise?
Right. Okay, so I'm going to give it a 4.
Okay.
You know, I liked it more than I liked Too Fast, Too Furious.
Yep.
But not quite as much as I liked the first one, which I gave a 5, I believe. So, I mean... You know, my father would call this a pleasant little time waster, and that's exactly what it was. I folded my laundry. I had some laughs. I went a lot of WTF, like what's going on here? But really, I would rank it lower. But again, I made the mistake. It's on me. I tried to bring logic and thinking into it. So that's on me. So it's getting a 4. So I've got Tokyo Drift, number 1.
Yep.
Number 2, Fast and the Furious.
Yep.
Number 3, this one, Fast & Furious. And then 4 is Too Fast, Too Furious.
Okay. Okay. The question is, Trey, is this worse than Too Fast, Too Furious?
This movie is definitely not worse than Too Fast, Too Furious. My guess is that ends up at the bottom of all 3 of our lists when we're done with this entire series. I was excited when this came out. I still like it. I still think it's good. But having now watched it a couple of times recently, I don't think it's going to finish in my top 3. Mm-hmm. Here are the things I like. I like that it really recalibrates the series. Like you mentioned earlier, JD, you can tell in this one that it's not just racing anymore. This has become a heist action hero kind of movie, which is the second thing I like. They had to basically make Vin Diesel, Dominic Toretto, into a superhero in this one. He was a bumbling criminal in the first movie, if you ask me. He didn't even finish the job in the first one. It was all Brian and Letty. But now he's back. He's the strongest man alive. He can bust out windows with his elbow. He does it twice. He catches Letty as she jumps from car to car. No big deal. He's torturing the guy in the garage, catches a full engine on a chain, hangs a guy out the window with one hand, gets shot through the shoulder, doesn't even flinch, jumps from car to car in a tunnel, and somehow pulls off 2 wheelies with a car. I've never seen one wheelie with a car, but Dom is doing it all the time here, so you can tell that, I feel like Vin was tired of taking L's in the first movie. He's like, if I'm coming back, this is mi familia, and I'm in charge 100% here, and he's going crazy. The things I don't like, the romance, does not work for me, and I also feel like Brian kind of gets pushed to the background in this one.
Yep.
Brian doesn't do a whole much. He's really responding to what's going on with Vin, with Dom, and he just doesn't have as much of his own storyline, I feel like. Braga, I like him as an actor and as a villain when he's acting, but as a villain, like, he doesn't really do much for me. Like, the only real mystery to him is, like, which guy even is he? But, you rarely see him with a weapon. Like, he doesn't seem like the scary guy in that group of criminals. That's Phoenix, so he's almost like a comic relief villain, which is sometimes, like, I think it's really funny when he's sitting next to Brian in the car, that kind of thing. I just think it could have been better. So, for me, I'm giving it a 7 to 10. Okay. Same score as Tokyo Drift, but on my list, it's going to slot in at number 2. So right now I've got Fast 1, The Fast and the Furious, Fast 4, Fast and Furious at number 2, And I'm putting this ahead because we got the OGs back in Dom and Brian. Then Tokyo Drift, and at the bottom, Too Fast, Too Furious.
Okay, well, I'm putting it in the same slot there as JD. I have it third on the power rankings. I've got FF1, then I got Tokyo Drift, then I got this one. I'll give it a 5. It's not the best movie I've ever seen. It's not the worst movie I've ever seen. I will say with all of these, I'm shocked how into them I am when I'm watching it. Like I'm not picking up my phone, or I'm not like, okay, yada, 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 get through this. There's not that much like just throwaway scenes that are like just boring.
Right.
For the most part, I'm pretty engaged into the movie. So I'll give it a 5, but yeah, it's better than Too Fast, Too Furious, but it's not a great movie. I think I'm even being generous. I'm probably bumping it up because we had a little Han. A little Han's better than no Han being there. And I do like, of course, having Dom and Brian back together. The Letty death, I didn't see that coming. If she shows up, though, I swear to God, if she's like in 8 or 9.
Did you see the body?
Oh my God. Like, there's no consequence. Like, you can die in this and always come back. Okay, if that happens, I'm docking this movie another point. But for right now, I'll give it a 5. And speaking of 5, Trey, set up the 5th installment here. Fast 5. Get me hyped. What can we look forward to?
I am juiced and jacked for Fast 5. A lot of people's favorite in the series.
Whoa.
My personal favorite heading in.
Really?
Fast 5, yeah. Because all the work that we've put in through these first 4 movies, the 2 sicko shorts, it finally starts paying off in Fast 5. I consider the first 3 movies the origin stories. The Phase 1, 4th movie resets the series. And in the 5th movie, brings everything together, starts building it back up. We've met a lot of characters so far, and now they're all back. Like, everybody you love is coming back for Fast
like
5. Plus, we get a literally huge addition to the Fastiverse. Hobbs, a.k.a. Dwayne Johnson, a.k.a. The Rock. You ever heard of him?
Jesus, how can
What an addition to the franchise. It's almost like we should add somebody as well.
Oh, interesting. Maybe we will do that. Maybe we'll add our own Hobbs for our breakdown of Fast Friends Fast 5, the 5th movie in the Fast and Furious franchise. But you're going to have to wait and find out who that Hobbs may be, who this jacked guy or girl may be joining us. We have a guest in mind. That's next week, though. Keep your questions coming for Fast Friends. NoDunks@theathletic.com. Put Fast Friends in the subject header there. You can leave a comment below this video on YouTube, and you can tweet at us at NoDunksInc. My goodness, nearly 2 hours talking Fast and Furious. But it flew by. It's just like watching the movies, guys. Having a blast, drinking a Corona. Actually, I haven't drinking it. We lied, JD. We said we were going to start drinking Coronas. When we were doing this. But the problem is we're recording them at like 10 in the morning.
Yeah. But Fast 5 we're going to have to do a little later because our mystery guest may be on the West Coast.
Okay. So let's get some Coronas going for our Fast 5 record of Fast Friends. Guys, great to see you as always. We'll see you next week. Take care.